Hi everyone. And for today's game, I want to share to you my game in which somehow I played like the magician, the great Mikhail Tal. And in this game, I am playing with the white pieces. So I played d4. My opponent played knight to f6. And I played c4. My opponent played g6, which is the king's Indian defense. He is preparing to fianchetto this bishop on f8 to f7. And in this position, I played knight to c3, controlling this square so that the knight cannot jump here. My opponent played d5, and this is called the Grunfeld defense. And I responded with c4 takes d5. My opponent took my pawn on d5 with his knight. And in this position, I did not take with the knight. I do not like this position. I want to keep on controlling the center as much as possible in the early game, in the opening. So I played e4, attacking the knight on d5. And my opponent played knight takes knight on c3. And I took the knight with my pawn on b2. And as you can see in this position, I have 3 pawns on the center of the board. And my opponent played bishop to g7. And if you can look at the position, honestly speaking, I have the advantage somehow. I think this is point 0.3 with the engine, or point 0.2, because this pawn is being guarded twice by my pawn on c3 and the queen on d1. And I have a pawn on e4 controlling the squares. So I played knight to f3, solidifying my center. As much as possible in the opening, you want and you need to control the center of the board. My opponent played c5, attacking, pressuring the pawn on d4. In this position, I ignored that and I just played bishop to c4, just developing my bishop so that I can castle. And at the same time, I'm pressuring this pawn on f7. My opponent castled, which is the best move. And in this position, I played pawn to h4. And according to the engine, I should have just castled, or at least developed this bishop. But I pushed this pawn because my opponent already committed to castle in his king side. So I want to pressure him and continue pushing and attacking. And I want to play like Tal in this position. So in the game of chess, there has to be a balance between being defensive and being aggressive. Too much aggressiveness, too much defense is not good. There has to be a balance between these two. So my opponent played queen a5, attacking my pawn on c3. And according to the engine, he should have just played bishop to g4. But for me, this is also a good move because it attacks my pawn on c3, which is not defended. But of course, I defended and I played c2, bishop c2, defending my pawn on c3. So I just defended this position. My opponent played bishop g4. Now, if you are white in this position, what will you do? Usually, you may castle, right? Which is a good move. But in this position, this is where I felt like that I have to be aggressive as white, that I have to keep on attacking, that I have to play like the magician, Mikhail Tal. So I played pawn to h5. I kept on attacking, pressuring, and my opponent took my pawn on h5. Now this is where the fun starts. In this position, you can pause the video and guess my next move. Again, Mikhail Tal sacrifice, right? In this position, with Levi's or Gautam's voice, I sacrificed the rook. H1 takes bishop on h5, sacrificing it. And according to the engine, this is a brilliant move. And why is it a brilliant move? Sacrificing my rook on h1. First of all, sacrifices should be done when you have an advantage and if you will gain something from that position. Next, sacrifices are good if you can open the opponent's king side or wherever where the king is placed so that we can open our opponent's position. So that's why this is a brilliant move. What I played, just like Mikhail Tal would play for sure. So in this position, my opponent took my rook, which is the best move. But what if he did not take my rook? What if he just continues developing? Then I can play rook takes pawn on c5, attacking the queen. Okay, let's say my opponent went on queen to d7. Then he's gonna lose already. There's a pin. There is a pin to the knight to the queen. And also, I can continue doing Mikhail Tal moves. I can sacrifice again the rook on h5 and take the pawn on h7. And if he takes, I can actually continue attacking, right? So there's so many. There's so many moves to do. If he does this, it's fine. I can check. And this is a checkmate. So I can make another sacrifice. So the best move is just taking this rook. Now, what can you observe in the position? Our opponent's king is now getting weaker. There's an isolated pawn on h5, and later I can grab this pawn. So I played knight to g5, attacking the pawn on h7 and pressuring the pawn on f7, along with my bishop and knight. There's a pin right here. So in this position, my opponent developed his knight on c6. And in this position, according to the engine, I am already winning. I am already miles better than my opponent. Because in this position, I grab my opponent's pawn on h5, and there is a checkmate in one. So he has to guard or defend because just one wrong move, and there is a mate. Okay? This is a checkmate if he doesn't defend this properly. So he played the best move, h6, attacking my knight and stopping checkmate in one. And now, in my next move, you can pause the video, look for the best move. And again, what would Mikhail Tal, the magician, played in this position? Yep, I played knight takes pawn on f7. Again, this knight is being guarded by my bishop and queen. There is a pin, and this is another amazing move, a great move according to the engine. If he takes, Then I can take with my bishop. And there is a mate here, right? So my opponent did not took my knight. He just ignored and took my pawn on d4. Now, you can pause the video again and guess the move, the best move in this position. Yes, sir. The move that I played is knight takes pawn on h6, giving a check to the black king on g8. This is a double check. My bishop on c4 is giving a check to the king on g8, along with my knight on h6. So the king cannot go here. His only safe squares is on h8 and h7. So my opponent played h7. And in this position, I played the best move once again, which is knight to f5, giving a check with my queen to the black king on h7. And in this position, actually, my opponent resigned because he cannot go here on g8 because the bishop on c4 is controlling that square. Cannot go here because of my queen, nor here because of my queen and the bishop. The only defense for black is to play bishop g7 to h6. And in this position, the best move is queen h5 takes bishop on h6. This is a checkmate. The king has nowhere to go. That's why in this game, I somehow felt like played like the magician, Mikhail Tal. Thank you for watching my video. Uh, it would be a huge appreciation if you would like my video and subscribe to my channel. So again, I'm Alec. I'm from the Philippines. I am actually a part-time chess coach at Chessmatics Academy. I teach kids chess, ages 7 years old until 13 years old. I teach beginners. Um, I love the game of chess. I love analyzing chess, like other great YouTubers. So chess is my sport and my passion. So if you want to support me and to see my channel grow, you can financially donate to my PayPal right here on the link, as you can see. And it would be a huge appreciation. Thank you so much. With that, I'll see you on my next video. Have a good day. Always remember, do not be afraid to make sacrifices as long as you will gain something from it.